Good morning, good morning, good morning. In the midst of what's going on, good morning, good morning, good morning to you guys. How's it going? How's it going? Happy Monday. It's turn up time. Miss Classic, I see what's going on. Mindset Masters families in the building. What's going on? What's up, Nicole? So good to see you, beloved. Valerie's in the building. Let's get it, Valerie. Turn up time. So thank my brother. So good to see you. Turn up time. So good to see you. What's up, boss? So good to see you. You say just what you needed, huh? After a long day. I know that's right. Jaja, what's going on? Silver CEO, what's up, beloved? What's going on? What's going on? Somebody said real men can't wear a peak. I don't know who told you that. Somebody lied to you. Somebody lied. Real men can or real men can't? Got it. Got it. Got it. My mistake. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. Snooky. Yeah, we're gonna talk, Snooky. Yeah, we need to talk. Since you got you and got in that little relationship. I don't see you no more. Yeah, since you didn't got in that little relationship, I don't see you no more at all. I don't know what's going on. What's up, Cam? So good to see you. Musa, what's up, family? So good to see you. I know all about it. I know, Snooky. I remember when you told me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Durango. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. Love you too, Bella. Love you too. Do me a favor, real quick. You guys share a lot to your stories if you haven't already done so. Danelle, I appreciate that, beloved. What's up, nephew? So good to see you. Share a lot to your stories again if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out to the world. If it's meant to be, it's on me. That's the mindset. If it's meant to be, it's on me. Let's go. That's the mindset. If it's meant to be, it's on me. It's on me. Weight broke the bridge. I tell you guys, quit waiting on people, man. Weight broke the whole bridge. It's meant to be. It's on me, Kev. That's it. That's just the mindset. You know, we talk about this all the time. You know, people are not an extension of your value system. We got to get out of that mindset. You know, if it's meant to be, it's on me. Whatever's going to happen with my life, it's on me. I'm not blaming people anymore. I don't have any more victims in my story. You know, I don't have, any more villains in my story. You know, I took all the people out of my story. It's just on me now. I'm gonna just put it all on me. Whatever's gonna happen from this moment moving forward, it's gonna happen because I either allowed it to happen or I made it happen. Find a way and make a way. That has to be your attitude. Every time when your feet hit the floor, is find a way and make a way, man. If you don't have the life that you want right now, that should be all the motivation you need. If you don't have the life that you want right now in this moment, that should be all of the motivation you need. You shouldn't need any more motivation than that. The fact that you are not where you want to be right now should be all of the motivation you need. If you need motivation outside of that, then you're the problem. The fact that you are not where you want to be right now should be all of the motivation you need. Shouldn't need any more motivation than that. That's all. What else you need? Somebody got to pump you up more than that. How you gonna build the life that you love if you keep waking up to a life that you don't want? Just help me understand. I'm not asking you to change your life. I said, how are you gonna build a life that you love if you keep waking up to a life that you don't want? If you keep settling for a life that you don't want, how you gonna build a life that you love? I take inventory of my life. The fact that I'm not where I want to be, whether that's physically, whether that's mentally, whether that's emotionally, that's all the gasoline I need. I don't need to. I don't need to be pumped up. I don't need to be motivated. I don't need to watch a video. I don't need to read a book. I'm getting ready to go make it happen because I'm not where I want to be. That part right there, Leticia, that part right there, you got to be motivation. And the reason why you got to be the motivation is because everything is already here. That's what people don't, I don't, everything is already here. The life that you want is already here. Nobody has to go print the money the day that you decide you want to be a millionaire. They don't have to print the money. The day that you decide that you want that dream house, they don't need to go and build it. The day that you decide that you're good enough for that Rolls Royce, they don't have to go and create the car. Everything is already here. Everything that you want for your life is already here. So the life that you want isn't waiting on you. You're not waiting on it. It's waiting on you. Everything that you want is already here. That dream partner that you want is already here. The problem is that you're not going to attract that person into your life being who you've always been. That's the problem. You're not going to get the $1 million life being who you've always been. You're not going to get that dream house being who you've always been. You got to transform yourself into the version of you that fits that house, that fits that dream life, that fits that car, that fits that particular relationship. You can't see, this is what we don't understand. The present moment is showing you not what you are, it's showing you who you were. The present moment doesn't have the ability to show you who you are. It can only reflect who you were. That's why you always have to keep space between you and the present moment. It doesn't have the power to reflect who you are right now. It can only reflect who you were. There's a tiny little space between this moment, because this moment can only reflect all of the decisions that you made leading up to this moment. It can't reflect what you are in this moment because the next moment will reflect that. This moment, so you don't need to be upset about what reality is showing you. So you need to be upset about it because you can't edit that. You can't change that. So it's nothing to be upset about. But it's your mirror, and so when you're looking at your life, you're saying, okay, do I want more of this? Or am I ready to move in a different direction? Because to have more in life, you got to become more. It's that simple. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, share the live to your stories. If you haven't already done so, share the live to your stories. If you haven't already done so, let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Share the live to your stories, please, if you haven't already done so. So good to see you all. For everyone that came in that I may have missed you. What's up, Alice? So good to see you. Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well, beloved. What's up, Jazz? Good to see you. Know my worth. Good to see you. Let me tell you what the real problem is. I'm going to tell you what the real problem is. Most people have mastered the ability to know what they want, but they haven't mastered the ability to let go of what they don't want. And that's what's hurting you. It's not what you want that's hurting you. It's what you won't walk away from that's hurting you. It's what you won't let go of that's hurting you. It's what you don't want, but you're still hanging on to it. That's hurting you. That's what hurts us. You can't just master knowing what you want. You have to also master knowing what you don't want. And then you also have to become a master at detaching yourself from what you don't want. That's the whole art to the game. That's the only way you can win the game. You can't win the game any other way. Yeah, it's wonderful that you know what you want. But if you haven't mastered the ability to let go of what you don't want, to let go of what's no longer serving you, to let go of what's no longer loving you, to let go of what's no longer showing up for you, you're going to continue to suffer. You can't build your new life while hanging on to the old one. Your new life starts the moment you let go of the old one. It's when it starts. Big homie, so good to see you. I'm the best in the world of letting go of what I don't want. I don't give a damn about what I want, because if I let go of enough of what I don't want, what I want is going to come automatically. You focus on the wrong thing. I don't need to focus on what I want. I need to focus on getting rid of what I don't want. And when I get rid of what I don't want, I make space for what I want. I make space for what I need. You see what I'm saying? I became the best at that. I'm best at defense, not offense. Offense means that you just focusing on what you want, but you're still clinging to what you don't want. You're still attached to what you don't want. You're still attached to what's not working for you. Nah, we don't have time for that. You're going to lose a game like that. I got people from all over the world trying to chime in. You changed. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. So good to see you. Happy Monday to you all. Happy Monday to you all. What's up, D? So good to see you. Again, you got to become a master at knowing what you don't want. Become a master at knowing what's no longer serving you. Become a master at knowing what's no longer working. You got to become a master at that. That's what you need to be the best in the world at. Damn being the best in the world at creating content. Damn being the best in the world at what you do at your job. Because it doesn't matter. All what you don't want will block your peace, will block your happiness, will block your joy. So it doesn't matter if you walk around with a PhD or an MBA or some other degree. It doesn't matter, because if you hanging on to things that no longer serve you, it's going to block happiness's presence in your life. It's going to block love's presence in your life. It's going to block joy's presence in your life. Become a master at not just knowing where you want to go. Become a master at knowing what has the power to stop you from getting to where you want to go. Because some of you guys, that's the problem. You don't have an addition problem. You have a subtraction problem. There's something in your life that you need to subtract that you're not subtracting. Even if the thing that you need to subtract is the version of yourself that no longer works for you. See, I have a utilization apparatus mindset. That means that everything in my life has to work for me. Everything. Everything in my life has to be working. I don't give a damn if it's only adding 1% to me. Every single thing. It just, what it can't do is take 1%. It can't add 1% and then take 2% away. See, that's how we stay stuck in these relationships. You got a person that might add 1% to you, 5% to you, but they take 30 away. And that's why you hang on to the person. You hang on to the person because sometimes they add value to you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they love you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they show up, sometimes. Get all them sometime you ask people out your life. Why don't we start right there? Let's start the show right there. That's why you stuck. Because sometimes the person come through, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. You wouldn't keep a car like that. I can promise you, you wouldn't keep a car like that. Well, every now and then the car starts, sometimes it don't, sometimes it starts, sometimes it don't. You get rid of that car quick. But we don't do that when it comes to people. You'll hang on to the person all day long. You'll let go of the car. You ready to get rid of the car 2 days later. Keep the person for 5 years, 10 years. If the people in your life, if the car in your life was as inconsistent as the people in your life, I promise you the car would be gone immediately. And once you start bringing that same energy to your life when it comes to people, everything gonna change. See, everything in your life has to work. I said everything. Everything in your life should be working. Everything in your life should be moving you toward the person you ultimately want to become. Or why do you have the thing in your life? Why would you have it in your life? Okay, damn, you added 1% value to me on Monday, but damn, you took 10% away on Tuesday. Yeah, you might have added 10% on Wednesday, but then you took 30% on Thursday. That's the problem. It's all this inconsistency going on. I promise you, 9 out of 10 people are walking around in a relationship just like that. Well, sometimes the person loves you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they give you what they need, sometimes they don't. How you gonna get somewhere like that? How you gonna get somewhere? I'm not asking you to change your life. I'm just asking you to think. That's what I'm saying, Kev. You won't. Like I said again, it's my mindset. Again, one more time. I'm just talking about me. My mindset is everything in my life has to work. I said everything.
Everything in every appliance has to be working. Every car has to be working. What's going on in the room has to be working. What's going on outside of the room has to be working. That goddamn dog, somebody coming here, you better bite something. You can't just be eating up stuff all day long. You ain't gonna bite nothing if somebody walk in this house. Everything in my life has to be working. Can't be nothing in my life that's just chilling. Can't be nothing in my life that's just watching me. Every single thing in my life has to add value. And when that becomes your mindset, that's when your life gonna change. I'm telling you now, I ain't gonna, what the hell I want this dog for? You ain't gonna do that. What's up with this side? I don't need nothing watching me all day. Every single thing in my life has to be contributing somehow, some way. Or why do I have to think that I'm the problem? If I'm sitting here, got these people in my life, got these things in my life, and they just sitting there watching me all day, that washer and dryer, you better clean something when it's time. That dishwasher, you better clean something when it's time. That refrigerator, you better keep something cold. That couch, you better keep me comfortable. Everything in your life should be working to help you become something better than you are right now. Or why you got it in your life? I'm just asking. Again, I'm not asking you to change anything. What's up, Rick? So good to see you. I'm not asking you to change anything. I said everything in my life has to work. If I'm gonna go get a dog, I needed to protect something. If I'm gonna go get that alarm, I needed to protect something. If I'm gonna get that car that'll take me from point A to point B. Everything in your life, when you have a utilization apparatus mindset, everything in your life has to work. That's not asking a lot. It's not asking a lot for me to want you to do the thing that you were created to do. I'm not asking you to do something above what you were created to do. I'm only asking you to do what you were designed to do. Same thing with that relationship. Okay, what is that relationship designed to do? You ain't supposed to be walking around here miserable all day. You ain't supposed to be walking around here stressed out all day. I shouldn't have to show up small in the relationship. That's not what the relationship is designed to do. But that's how most people are operating out of it. Got you questioning yourself. Got you all confused. Questioning your worth, questioning whether or not this person want to be with you. The moment that you ask the question, that you already got the answer. The moment that you ask that person, do you still love me? You already got the answer. When you ask that person, do you still want this relationship? You already got the answer. When you ask that person, do you still want to be with me? You already have the answer. The question is the answer is always in the question. You just are not ready to accept it. That's the problem you have. But the answer is always in the question. The moment that you got to turn to your partner and ask them if they still want a future with you, you already have the answer. Because something in their behavior, something in the way they treat you is what triggered that thought. So you already have the answer. You're not willing to accept it yet. Truth all around you. See, that's the problem with us. The truth is all in your face. You're not ready to see it yet. Because the truth that you need to see doesn't align with the story that you created in your mind with respect to what you want for that person. So it doesn't matter what version of the truth you get, you're not willing to accept it. You ain't hit rock bottom enough. It is. Dave, what's up, Dave? So good to see you, beloved. Again, do me a favor real quick. You guys get the likes up so we get the medicine out. Excuse me. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. What's up, Ava? So good to see you. Cat lovers in the building. Let's go. Rock, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. What's up, Monica? So good to see you, beloved. Type me in the comments real quick if this is your first time on a live stream with me. Let me just do a quick intro. Type me if this is your very, very, very first time seeing me go live. Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, you guys are in for it. Excuse me. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, consciousness, emotional intelligence. I specialize in helping my students and my clients to become the most powerful versions of themselves. That's where I live. I'm all about power. I'm all about strength. I'm all about honor. I'm all about respect. That's where I live. And so it's something that I teach, and I've been coaching. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've coached
some of the most powerful people on the face of this earth currently, from top politicians to celebrities to athletes, entertainers, you name it, I've coached them, down to everyday moms and pops that are just trying to level up and become the most powerful version of themselves. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? This book is a bestseller. It is a game changer. And so that's part of the reason why I do what it is that I do. My purpose is to help you find yours. My purpose is to help you unlock yours. And, because you got to understand, your passion is for you, but your purpose is for the world. Your purpose is what you give away, right? Your passion is the motor. It's the engine. It's the thing that makes you want to do your purpose. And so I'm passionate about growth. I'm passionate. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm passionate about helping people, get to that next level or level up, right? And so, and then my purpose is just the thing that I give away. Again, your passion is for you, but your purpose is what you give to the world. If you think about the tree, its purpose is to give away the fruit. The fruit that tree produces is not for the tree, right? The fruit is for you. The fruit is for every single person walking past that tree that may be hungry at that time. So if you walk up and you pick an apple, that tree is going to be so happy that you did that because it's operating out of its purpose. And you're the tree in your life. And everything in your life is just the fruit, from your job to your kids to your relationships, your friendships, what's happening on social media, what's happening in your life. That's all the fruit that you produce. What's important for you to understand is that the fruit can never become more important than the tree. Let me say that one more time. I said the fruit can never become more important than the tree. The fruit can never become more important than the tree. The fruit can never become more important than the tree. I don't give a damn what the fruit looks like. I don't care how handsome the fruit is. I don't care how much you think you love the fruit. I don't care how much you think you need this person. I don't care how much you think you can't live your life without them. The moment that the fruit becomes more important than the tree, you've lost sight of your value. You've lost sight of your worth, and you have lost control of that relationship. Most people that I coach, that's what's happening. The fruit has become more important than the tree. When you think about a real tree in life, thank you so much for the gifts, you guys. When you think about a real tree in life, that tree doesn't give a damn about the fruit. It doesn't. You can walk up and pick one apple. You can pick 50 apples. You can pick no apples at all. But it doesn't matter to the tree. The tree doesn't care because it understands that it's the value. But we don't move through life that way. We'll meet some new person, and because you were lonely, because you were bored, because you hadn't worked on yourself, because you have all these unhealed versions of yourself, this person becomes a beautiful distraction for you. They give you the ability to escape your pain. They give you the ability to escape your wounds. They give you the ability to escape a life that you don't love. And oftentimes when we think we're in love with the person, what we're in love with is the version of ourselves that we get to become in their presence. We're in love with the character. We're in love with the role that we assign for that person. We fall in love with what we need them to be for us, right? And when you leave that person, you're not mourning the loss of the person. What you're mourning is that version of yourself that you don't know what to do with anymore, because you had created this character that perfectly aligns with that particular relationship. And so once that person leaves, you're going to start having all these thoughts about that person. But you're not having thoughts about the person because you missed the person, because the reason why you're comfortable with the person being gone is because they weren't adding value to your life to begin with. If we just live it in the truth. But when you start thinking about the person and you're thinking about the person and you're thinking about the person, what's happening is that the character that you built has certain beliefs, has certain thoughts, has certain attitudes, and all of these other things like that. So you're sitting here thinking about this person, but not because you need them or not because you miss them, but because you built a character, and it's going to take you time to dismantle that character that you built that goes with that particular person. You have a character that you have built for every single person in your life right now. There's a character that's assigned to your kids. There's the character that you become when you get to your job. There's the character you are when you're around your parents.
There's the character you are when you're around your friends. All of those different versions of you. In other words, let me say it to you like this. The version of you that you are with your friends wouldn't fit the version of you that you are with your kids. And the version of you that you are with your significant other wouldn't fit the version of you that you are when it comes to your parents. So every single person that you encounter, you're creating some different version of yourself that aligns with that person. It's important for you to understand that. It's critically important for you to understand that. We build characters to go with certain people is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Who you are at work is not who you are when you're with your kids. Who you are at work is not who you are when you're with your significant other. These are all different roles that you play. These are all different characters that you step into. So I'm trying to get you to understand. So when that person walks out of your life, what you're grieving, what you're mourning is the character that you built that goes with that person. Because now you don't know what to do with that character. And so it's the character that's longing for the person, not who you are at your essence, just the character that you built. Hopefully that makes sense. See, we don't lose people. What we lose is the version of ourselves that attracted that person into our lives to begin with. That's what you lose. So when you grieve, you're grieving the character, not the person. But when you lack self-awareness, you think you're grieving the person. You're not grieving the person at all. The person wasn't doing anything for you. That's why the relationship fell apart. I'm just being honest. That's why the relationship fell apart to begin with, because they weren't doing anything for you. So what'd you lose? The disrespect? What'd you lose? Them not showing up? What'd you lose? Them not loving you? What'd you lose? Them not considering you? What did you lose? You didn't lose anything. What you lost is the version of yourself that attracted that person into your life to begin with. That's what you lost. What you lost is the character. You mourn the character, not the person. Don't ever get that confused. You mourn the character, not the person. But when you lack self-awareness, you don't understand that. So you just think that you're missing a person. So before you know it, you on the phone trying to get this person back into your life that your heart has already ran away from. You got to stop running back to people that your heart has already ran away from. All right, let's get busy. You won't become powerful until you understand that you are valued. You just won't. You know, if you don't fully understand that mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you're going to be in trouble. You know, in every relationship you get in, because what you're going to do is you're going to become attached to that person. You're going to start clinging to the person. You're going to start putting them on some pedestal in your mind. Your world going to spin, turn, and revolve around that person. 9 out of 10 people have been in that situation where your world spin, turns, and revolves around that person. That person say jump, you say how high. See, the most important thing you're going to ever lead in your life is you. That's the most important thing you will ever lead in the history of your life. So before I can lead you, I got to be able to lead me. But we'll go and hand ourselves to some person that's never led themselves anywhere. You ain't never been anywhere, but you're trying to take me somewhere. And we don't realize that. It's because you're doing it because you think you love the person. That's why we do it. All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. I'm going to run through something real quick with you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. Do me a favor real quick before I dive into this. Do me a favor real quick. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Divine, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. So good to see you, family. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. Let me dive in. I just need you guys to do your part. On the other end, I'll do mine. I can promise you I will do my part. I can promise you I will do my part. That much I can promise you. You guys do your part and I do my part. We're going to have a synergistic experience right now. Again, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. What's up, Nat? So good to see you. All right. I'm going to give you the 5 levels of consciousness. It's going to be quick. I'm going to just run through it real quick. Okay. These are the 5 levels of consciousness. Level 1, the sleepwalker.
Most people never make it out of this category. 9 out of 10 people walking on the face of this earth right now, that person that you chasing just might be in this category number 1. Number 1 is the sleepwalker. This means that you live your life on autopilot. You wake up and you brush your teeth the same, you drive to work the same, you go to the same little movie theaters. Everything in your life is on autopilot. Everything is the same. Your habits are the same. Your routines are the same. It's all the same. And what we don't understand is that that's why people oftentimes fall out of love with us, is because your patterns are the same. Everything about you is the same. You do the same thing day in and day out. Day in and day out. People are going to get bored with that. See? So this means that you live your life on autopilot. You are reactive, not reflective. Reactive means that you have zero control over you emotionally, meaning that somebody can walk up and criticize you on social media. Somebody can criticize you out in the world, and you just react because you have no control over yourself. You become what you react to. So if you react to anger, you're going to become that. If you react to someone's frustration, you're going to become that. If you react to their rage, you're going to become that. You become what you react to. Also in category number 1, you blame external circumstances for the way you feel. You sleep, beloved. You blame external circumstances for the way you feel, even though nothing has the power to produce your feelings. But because you lack self-awareness, you don't understand that. So you're blaming everything outside of yourself for the way you feel. And you believe that your problems and the suffering that you experience is coming from the external world. You don't realize that your programming and conditioning is what's producing all of the problems in your life. Your thinking is producing all of the problems in your life, but you don't understand that as of yet. This is how category 1 people are moving. Category 2, the awakening. This is when you begin to question everything. This is when you begin to question things. You recognize your patterns. You take full accountability, and you're not blaming people, places, and things for the way you feel. Again, most people never make it to category 2. You study self-awareness consistently, and you understand that you are creating your reality. You understand that you are the one assigning meaning to everything in your life, which is what controls the way you feel, which is what controls what emotions you experience. That's category number 2. Category number 3 is the shadow. This is when you start to understand that your dark and your light is what makes you powerful. And you've integrated all of your past wounds. You no longer run from pain because you understand that pain is what leads to growth. So you don't run from the pain anymore. And you now show up as the most authentic version of yourself, and you refuse to be in performance-based relationships. 9 out of 10 relationships are performance-based. 8 out of 10 people on this live right now are in a performance-based relationship, where if you stop performing, your partner doesn't want to have anything to do with you. See, the problem with performance-based relationships is that they're predicated on conditional love. You can't be in an unconditional love relationship and it be performance-based. Those things cancel each other out. Also, again, it's 8 out of 10 people. You want to know why your relationship is struggling? Because it's performance-based. Look at all that pressure. Look at all that stress. Let me give it to you in a way I know you can't miss it. Let me give it to you in a way I know you can't miss it. Think about your job. Your job is performance-based. The people don't have no love for you. They need you to come in and do certain things.
And as a result of you doing certain things, they're going to have you a check at the end of 2 weeks or 1 week or a month or whatever your pay schedule is. But the entire relationship is performance based. But that's what we do when it comes to romantic relationships. They're performance based, just like your job. What's the difference? At least at your job, they're not pretending to love you. I'll give them that. They're not pretending to love you at your job. If you're in a performance-based relationship, it's humanly impossible for you to have unconditional love in it. I said humanly impossible. I said humanly impossible. Let me say it one more time in case your earpiece may have fallen out. I said it's humanly impossible for you to have unconditional love flowing through your relationship if you have a performance-based relationship, which 8 out of 10 relationships are. I'll love you if you love me. I'll show up for you if you show up for me. I'll be good to you if you're good to me. I'll do this for you if you do this for me. Performance. Transactions. See, nobody ever taught us what was really going on. Nobody ever taught us how it was really supposed to work. No, you step into the relationship understanding that it's all predicated on performance based, but then you transcend the relationship. That was the whole point. That was the part of the relationship nobody ever told you about. That your goal and your motivation is to transcend the transactional relationship into one where there's unconditional love, where my partner doesn't have to perform for me anymore. I'm in a non-performance based relationship. I'm in a relationship right now where there's just unconditional love. I don't need my partner to do anything for me. Nothing. She can lay on the ground and do nothing for the next 30 years, and I'm not going to say a word because my love for her is not predicated on what she does for me. The same way that God's love is not predicated on what you do for him. It's unconditional. That's what unconditional love means. It means I don't have any expectations of you. I don't place any psychological contracts on you. The relationship is no longer performance-based. I love you no matter if you lose a leg, I love you. If you lose an arm, I love you. If your face changes, I love you. If you lose your hair, I love you. If you get cancer, I love you. My love will never stop for you. That's unconditional love. That's divine love. No, you're not broken, beloved. Broken is the story that you're telling yourself. But you're not broken, I can promise you that. But I understand what you're trying to say, but you're not broken. You're fine. I promise you. Broken is a story that we tell ourselves when people don't live up to our expectations. Broken is a story that we tell ourselves when people don't ultimately end up being what we needed them to be for us. You know, we think that people break our hearts. They don't. What they broke was your expectations. That person broke your expectations, and those expectations shattered you emotionally because you had backed that relationship with so much emotion. You had hope and you had desire and you had all of these things, but the person never broke you because the real you, source energy, divine energy that you are, consciousness, has never been touched before, has never been hurt. What's broken is your ego. What's broken is your persona. What's broken is the character that you play. What's broken is the part of your mind that keeps telling you the story that you need to heal from whatever it is you went through. That's what's broken. But nothing actually is broken in you. Not a single thing. There's nothing to fix because there's nothing broken. You just are telling yourself a story that's out of alignment with the truth. And the reality is that the person didn't hurt you. The person revealed to you where you weren't loving yourself. That's really what happened. People don't betray us. People just live their lives in a way that's out of alignment with the way we see fit. And because somebody programmed you to believe that people are supposed to be committed to you and they're supposed to be loyal to you and they're supposed to honor all of these things, all of that lives in your mind. It's not in reality. None of that lives in reality. All of that only lives in your mind. And so the person didn't hurt you. The person didn't betray you. They lived their life in a way that they saw fit. They moved in a way that was in alignment with their best interest and not yours. And so you think that the person hurt you, but the person didn't hurt you. They just made moves that was out of alignment with what you wanted, but they made moves that were in alignment with what they wanted. And it's so important for us to understand that. You got to get out of the illusion of what you think a relationship is and get into the reality of how people really move. And once you start understanding how people really move, It'll change your life. It'll change your life. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Nobody's ever hurt you. People don't have the power to hurt you. What hurts you is the story you keep telling yourself about these situations. That's the only thing hurting you. But the person moved and lived their life in a way that they saw fit. How did that hurt you? But they were supposed to be loyal to me. They were supposed to be committed to me. They were supposed to be this for me. No, beloved. That's just you listening to somebody else. Somebody sold you that story. You changed. I appreciate that, beloved. Somebody sold you that story. Somebody walked down the street. It might have been your parent. It might have been a grandparent. It might have been a friend. Somebody sold you that story. That people are supposed to be what you want them to be. Let me tell you the most selfish thing in the world. The most selfish thing in the world is to demand that someone else live their life to suit your needs. That's the most selfish thing in the world. It is not selfish for you to live your life how you see fit, but it is selfish when you demand that someone lives their life to suit your needs so that you can be happy, so that you can be at peace, so that you can be this, so that you can be that. That's selfish, beloved. God gave that person a life the same way he gave it to you. And that person gets to do it. And there's somebody out there, and I don't know who it is right now, but there's somebody out there that will start to move their life and that will want to move their life in a way that's in alignment with the way you see the world. See, people are not extensions of our value system. You got to understand that. People are not extensions of your moral compass. You will not find your heart in someone else's body. You have to understand that. So it doesn't matter what you would have done. What matters is what they wanted to do. Doesn't matter what you thought they should have done or shouldn't have done. When you stop looking for your heart in other people's bodies, you'll wake up and get out of your illusion. That people are going to walk around and do what most people are loyal to is the opportunity that's in front of them at that time. That's what the average person is loyal to. Until you wake up, the average person is loyal to the opportunity that's in front of them at that time. And they're not thinking about you in that moment. They're thinking about themselves. That's what most people do. That's why I tell you guys this all the time. Before a person has a spiritual awakening, they're moving through life in a way that suits their needs, that suits their desires, that suits their wants. Person not thinking about you. I'm telling you, and that's not a bad thing. You know, your neighbor is not thinking about you right now. You don't feel no way about that because you don't have an expectation on your neighbor to be a certain thing for you. People are moving in ways that benefit them, and I understand that. This is why you don't place expectations on people. This is the number one thing, that's self-awareness. That's what hurt you. What hurt you was not the person. What hurt you was the expectation that you placed on it. That's the only thing that hurt you. They broke my heart. No, they shattered that expectation. They woke you up out of your illusion. That's what hurts. It hurts when we're snapped out of the illusion that we've been living out of. I'm telling you, your expectations is when you stop placing expectations on people, all of the suffering goes away. And I'm not talking about your kids. I'm talking about people outside of your kids. I appreciate that, sis. That's the only thing that has the power to hurt you is your expectation. I don't place expectations on people. I expect people to be what they are, not what I imagine them to be. See, before you can expect someone to be something for you, you got to be there for yourself first. You want 5-star respect in your relationship, give it to yourself first. You want 5-star love in your relationship, give it to yourself first. You want somebody to show up for you on a 5-star level, do that for yourself first. And then every single person that you attract into your life will be a reflection of that. Oftentimes when people come into our lives and they abandon us, really what they're doing is they're just mirroring back to us the version of ourselves that showed up small, the version of ourselves that walked on eggshells, the version of ourselves that when we weren't really loving ourselves, and all these things. The person is just reflecting you back to you. All right. What number did I leave my phone? 4, the shadow. Wait. 4. Yeah, 4. Come on, Lynetta. I know Lynetta was going to be. I know I'm on number 4. Okay, number 4 is consciousness. Number 4 is, this is my favorite one. I think this is my favorite one. Let me say this real quick. Let me go back to 3 real quick. Get out of all the performance-based relationships. Please, I'm begging you. Just get out of all the I don't give a damn if you're the last person in a relationship with yourself. Just get out of all of the performance-based relationships. That's the best thing. That's the best thing in the world that you will ever be able to do. Get out of all of the performance-based relationships, because the performance-based relationships are predicated on conditional love. There's no unconditional love there. Even though they holler they love you unconditionally, it's all predicated on performance. All right, number 4. This is where you fully understand how to turn your pain into wisdom. That was me. I mastered the ability to turn my pain into wisdom. You are detached from outcomes so nothing has the power to hurt you anymore. So many of you guys are walking around and you have all of these attachments to some outcome. I don't have attachments to outcome anymore. Let me tell you why I have no attachment to the outcome. Because the value is not found in the outcome. The value is found in who you become on your way to the outcome. That's where all of the value is, not in the outcome. The value can only be found in who you are becoming on your way to the outcome. Some of you guys are so outcomes focused that you don't realize the value. You don't realize what's happening every single day as you growing and you transforming, and you just waiting on the result. Like, I can't wait to be self-aware. I can't wait to be a master. I can't wait to be this. Okay, but you losing sight of the value, beloved. You're losing sight of the whole value. The value is in who you are becoming on the way to the outcome. The outcome is just going to be here and then it's going to be gone. And then you're going to chase a new outcome. No, you got to fall in love with who you are becoming on the way. I tell you guys this all the time, because you can't hate your way to a life you love. And that's what most people are doing. You can't hate your way to a life you love. If you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy when you get there. Would you think happiness is going to show up when you get to the outcome? No, if you're not happy right now, you need to discover what's blocking happiness's presence in your life first. What do I tell you guys all the time? You know, when the eyes are unobstructed, the result is sight. When the mind is unobstructed, the result is wisdom. And when the heart is unobstructed, the result is love. If you don't have love in your life, if you don't have happiness in your life, you've got some obstructions there, which means that you need to start doing subtraction. There's some things that's happening in your life right now that you need to start subtracting. Right? That part right there, Susie. Again, you can't hate your way to a life you love, and that's what most people are doing. It's like you're suppressing certain things you don't understand, and that's why this piece is so important. So again, consciousness. Number 4 is consciousness. This is where you fully understand how to turn your pain into wisdom. I turn all pain into wisdom, all of it. I don't experience pain anymore. I understand why pain shows up. I fully understand. I understand why pain shows up. I understand why suffering shows up. I understand why they show up. I understand why misery shows up. I understand why depression shows up. All of these things are indicators. All of these things are your allies. They're not your enemies. Nobody's ever told you that. Nobody's ever told you that depression is your ally and not your enemy. You give it a negative, you attaching a negative meaning to depression, never realizing and understanding that depression is more on your side than the person you call a friend. Because anytime that you're depressed, the depression is there to let you know, wait a minute, you're hanging on to something that you need to let go of. You're out of alignment with the truth. You're clinging to something. You're attached to something that no longer adds value to you. Even if that thing that you're attached to is some thought or some person. You're not living out of your authenticity. You're out of alignment with the present moment. The detachment, the depression is more of a friend to you and more loyal to you than every single person that you call a friend. The depression is only a check engine light. It's not the problem. It's pointing you in the direction of the problem. But we got all these therapists and all these people sitting here making depression seem like it's some bad thing. No, depression is letting you know you out of alignment right now. You out of alignment with the truth. You out of alignment with your highest and best self. You hanging on to something that no longer adds value to you. Come on, we got to get back in the game. That's what the depression is that you don't. And the moment you get back in the game, the depression is going to leave like a loyal friend should. That part right there, Leticia, is letting you know you out of alignment with God right now. What are you doing right now? That's what it's there to let you know. You sitting here, but the meaning you assign to depression is what's producing all of the suffering. It's not the depression itself, it's the meaning you attach to it. Because somebody programmed you to look at it through a negative filter. So how can you get to the right place if you're looking at it from the wrong mindset? Just help me understand. I'm not asking you to change your life. I said, how can you get to the right place if you're looking at it from through the wrong mindset? Nobody's ever told you you can be blissfully happy and have depression in your life all at the same time. Nobody's ever told you that. So you won't experience it because you don't think it's possible. Like fearlessness, you won't experience it because you won't think it's possible. One more time. You can be blissfully happy and have depression in your life at the same time. They are two completely different things. The depression is there to let you know something's no longer adding value to you. You have an alignment here. Ain't got nothing to do with, but when you attach a negative meaning to it, you're going to experience negative feelings, not because there was something wrong with the depression, but because there was something wrong with you not understanding what depression's role is in your life. Depression plays a very specific role in your life. And when you don't understand what the role is, you can't extract the value from it. How can I extract the value from something when I don't know its use? I don't know how I'm supposed to utilize this particular thing. Of course, I'm going to get a negative read on it. You can be happy with your anxiety. There's nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other, but nobody's ever told us this. So you only look at it as being this negative thing. So you attach a negative meaning, which creates the negative feeling, but it has nothing to do with the thing. I'm just giving you the truth. If your therapist loved you enough, and hopefully they do, they will tell you that. There are two completely different things. I can be at a party right now, blissfully happy. The depression cloud shows up. Why did the depression cloud show up? I see, here's the thing. Once that depression cloud shows up, I'm not getting ready to attach meaning to it. I don't need to attach meaning to it. It's a check engine light. It's my check engine light. I'm entertaining a thought about something from my past. I'm out of alignment with the truth right now. I'm clinging to something. I'm hanging on to something that no longer serves me, no longer adds value to me. I need to put myself in park. What do I need to do after that? Self-observation. I need to run a SWOT analysis on my life. What's making me strong? What's making me weak? What are the threats to me right now? I need to understand that. And then once I understand what's making the depression show up in my life, I need to eliminate that thing. That's it. And then I'm going back to the party to do whatever it is that I'm doing. But I don't need to go and spiral. I don't need to go and attach meaning to the depression and become depressed. It was never what it was about. It was never what it was about. What did you depress for? Nothing to be depressed about. That part right there, you change. You telling yourself some story that's out of alignment with the truth. You keep replaying some story. That's what's making it come. There's something that's happening in your world that you keep telling yourself some story. It's not the story is out of alignment with the truth. That's how you. Let's walk here. Let's walk here. When you tell yourself stories that are in alignment with the truth, you're going to experience happiness, you're going to experience joy, you're going to experience peace, you're going to experience love. This is how you map. This is mastery right here. When you tell yourself a story that's in alignment with the truth, happiness, peace, joy, love, fill in the blank. When you tell yourself a story that's out of alignment with the truth, depression, fear, anxiety, all of these things are happening because you are no longer in alignment with the present moment. You are no longer in alignment with truth. You are no longer in alignment with your highest and best self. The story that you are telling yourself does not match the story that reality is holding in that moment. It doesn't align with God's story. It only aligns with yours. And the reason why it only aligns with yours is because you're seeing the situation through your programming and conditioning. You're seeing the situation through how it benefits you. You're seeing the situation through your needs. You're seeing the situation through your desires. You're not seeing it as it is. You're seeing it as you are. All right, let's get busy getting busy. You just got to take some time, beloved, and understand how you work. That's all I'm saying. You changed. I appreciate that, beloved. You got to understand how you work, man. You got to understand how you work. It's great that you know how the relationship works, but you need to know how you work. All right, number 5. Number 5 is complete mastery. That part right there, you change. You got to know how you work, beloved. You got to know a little bit more than what's going on at your job, what's going on with the car, what's going on with the people in your life, what's going on social media. You know, we oftentimes, I tell you guys this all the time, we know more about how the outside world works than how we work. You know, and then the moment that you don't know how you work and the moment that you have some problem, you run to somebody else to fix what you should already know. You know, and that's why we suffer. Number 5 is complete mastery. This is when you dissolve the ego. 5 is complete mastery. You dissolve the ego because your ego is what's creating all the problems. All of them, not some of them. You only focus on things that you can control. That's another reason why some of you guys are suffering right now, is because you're focusing on things that you can't edit. You're focusing on things that you can't control. No, all of your power needs to lie in what you can control. If it's out of your hands, it doesn't deserve to be in your mind, period. This is my favorite one. You are completely unmoved by praise or criticism. That's my favorite, because that means that you have become emotionally bulletproofed. You are completely unmoved by praise or criticism. It doesn't matter. They both carry the same weight. So whether somebody calls you everything but a child of God, it doesn't move your needle. Whether somebody gives you the biggest compliment in the world, it doesn't move your needle. You're just completely detached from all of that. And let me tell you why you're detached. Because you understand that their opinions belong to them, beloved. It doesn't belong to you. The way that that person sees you in that moment is a reflection of their wounds, is a reflection of their programming and conditioning, is a reflection of their experiences. No two people have the same definition of you. You are something different in the minds of every single person you encounter. So when that person sees you in that moment, whatever they say in that moment is a reflection of their experiences. It has nothing to do with your work. So you don't move through the world anymore giving all of this weight and power to what other people think about you, because you understand that what they say about you says more about them than it ever could about you. Hang on, you guys. What you say about me, you know, and that's what, and when you start to understand that, so if you say to me, Coach, you the worst thing in the world, I'm saying, okay, you the best thing in the world. Okay, they carry the same weight. They carry the same weight. Now you emotionally bulletproof. And let me tell you why that's important. Because so many of you guys are walking around and you give too much weight to what other people think about you. There are people on this live right now where you want to do live streams and you want to create content, but you're so worried about what someone is going to think, what they're going to say, what their opinion is going to be, what their perception, that you don't make the move. Your life doesn't belong to you if you're worried about what other people think about it. It doesn't belong to you. You're renting out your power to this person. And what's worse is that the person doesn't have a high opinion of themselves. See, you got to understand, people throw rocks from the bottom, not from the top. Any person throwing rocks at you is throwing rocks at you from the bottom. People don't throw rocks from the top. People at the top, like myself, we don't have time to do that. People at the top, like you, change. We don't have time to do that. You ain't got time to do that. We're too busy. We too busy out trying to change the world. We ain't got time to throw rocks at you. Hate comes from the bottom. It doesn't come from the top. If a person has time to pull up on your live stream and criticize what you are doing in that moment, that can only mean that they're not doing anything with their lives. What are you worried about that for? There are people on this live right now, I'm telling you, where you're so worried about what someone else thinks about you that you freeze. You're not making certain moves, which means that you're not in control of your life. The public is. I wish I would not make a move based upon what somebody else might think. Damn what they think. They don't have a high opinion of themselves. What are you worried about what they think about you for? Oh, well, you know, coach, I'm kind of afraid. Afraid of what? What are you afraid of? You creating all the fear about it based on the story that you're telling yourself. The fear is not in the moment. The fear is in your mind. And the fear is coming because of a story that you keep telling yourself. The fear is showing up because the story that you're telling yourself is not accurate. That's what the fear is trying to let you know. You are creating a story in your mind that's out of alignment with the truth. You're giving way too much power to what these people might think of you. Because who cares what they think? I'm telling you. Also, in number 5, you have mastered impermanence. Impermanence means that you understand that everything changes. So I'm not attached to people. I don't cling to people because I understand that everything changes. Person might be here today, might be gone tomorrow. Today's friend might be tomorrow's enemy. The person that told you they love you today might tell you they hate you tomorrow. What worked yesterday may not work today. That's impermanence. I understand that everything in my life is changing. So I walk around with a fluid mindset. What hurts you is when your mindset is fixed. 9 out of 10 people on this app right there, you're walking around with a fixed mindset. And the moment that something is out of alignment with that fixed mindset, you're going to punish yourself. You're going to upset yourself. The situation doesn't upset you. What upsets you is when the situation clashes with your fixed mindset because you wanted everything to remain how you wanted it to be. People are fluid. They're changing right now. The person that you saw yesterday is not the same version of themselves today. Something could have happened to shift that person's entire life. But we keep walking around seeing people through yesterday's filter. That's why we don't understand. I don't want to look at you with yesterday's eyes because who you were yesterday is different from who you are today. I need to meet you where you are right now, not where you were. That's when you become powerful. Meet people where they are today. Stop hanging on to yesterday's anger. Stop hanging on to yesterday's frustration. Stop hanging on to what they might have did yesterday because the person that did that to you yesterday is not the same person that's standing in front of you today. That's wisdom. Wisdom is when you don't look at today through yesterday's eyes. What you say about being love should be shared? Yeah, you just don't look at, that part right there. I know when there's family on the line, no frozen impressions, that part right there. You just get out of the frozen impressions. So again, number 5 is you understand impermanence, and then you've mastered acceptance. Acceptance, right? Acceptance is like the biggest eraser you have ever seen in your life. Picture that in your mind. The biggest the eraser that you ever seen in your life. That's what acceptance is, because it erases all the pain. It erases all the suffering. It erases all the misery. It erases all the depression. It erases all of the anxiety. Acceptance is I'm fully understanding. I'm fully prepared. I know. See, that's the problem. That's the real problem right there. You don't have knowing. You have belief. I'm telling you what's hurting you. You don't have knowing, you have belief. And when you believe in something, you believe in it because you don't really know it. That's why you believe it. Knowing is the next level up from belief. So I walk through this world with knowing. I know God's got me. I ain't worried about nothing. I know that if someone leaves, he's going to bring something better. I know that if I lose something, it's going to be replaced. I have knowing. And I also know that he has prepared me so that anything that shows up in this moment, I'm going to be ready for it. I already know that I'm fully equipped. I already know he'll never give me a problem bigger than something that I can handle. I already know that. So I don't need to be all out in the future creating all this anxiety. I don't need to be in the past creating all this depression. I need to be locked in on this moment because I know that whatever it is he's going to put in front of me, I'll be ready for it. I'm focused on what's in front of me. I'm focused on what's in front of me right now. I'm not focused on what might happen 5 minutes from now. I don't care about what might happen tomorrow. I don't give a damn about what happened yesterday because yesterday don't give a damn about me. I'm focused on this moment right now. That's it. I don't want to be anywhere else. Tomorrow is God's lane. That's why you getting hurt, because you all in his lane. That's where the anxiety is coming, because you're in his lane. That's why the worry and stress is coming, because you're in his lane. You're in a lane that has nothing to do with you. That's why you're getting hurt. I stay out of his lane. Yesterday belongs to him. Tomorrow belongs to him. But this moment belongs to me. And when you start focusing on mastering what's in front of you and quit mastering what you have no control over, your life gonna change. You sitting here wasting all this thought energy on something that you can't control. That's why that's where all the suffering is coming from. You focusing on things that you no longer control. You don't have what happened 5 minutes ago. Whatever it is that happened 5 minutes ago, it's over with, baby. Whether you won or lost, it's over with. It's on to the next. That has to be your mindset. On to the next. It's on to the next. I don't give a damn how much you thought you needed that person. It's on to the next. I keep telling you guys, God will never let you lose the best you ever had. He doesn't work that way. The best you ever had is what's coming. What walked out only made space for the best that you're going to ever have. So I'm focused on that. That part right there, Red, that part right there, beloved, I don't give a damn about what walked out. I'm focused on what's getting ready to walk in. Damn, what walked out? What's walking in? Because I know how my Father moves. So whatever it is that walked out, what's getting ready to walk in, going to be 10 times more powerful than what just walked out. And when you know him, you don't have to worry. See, when you only believe in him, that's when you worry. That's when you worry. When you only believe in him, you worry because you don't really know him. You say you do, and it sounds good when you read your little Bible scripture. All that sounds good. When you step into knowing, belief is no longer required. When you step into knowing, faith is no longer required. When you step into knowing, I'm walking through the world with absolute certainty. I'm talking about I got so much certainty, I might just walk straight to the wall. I have no worries. I don't worry about anything because worry is an indicator that I'm not trusting him. Anxiety is an indicator that I'm not trusting him. Fear is an indicator that I'm not trusting him. Depression is an indicator that I'm not trusting him. All of these things are indicators that I don't trust him. That's disrespectful to his greatness. Wish I would disrespect my Father. I'm walking around here with all these negative emotions. My Father, the creator of everything. I'm walking around here stressed out and depressed. I wish I would. I wish I would. All of your little negative feelings are indicators that you're not trusting him. That's all it is. You want to live it? Truth is at the door. What version of it would you like? I'm going to serve it up to you. What version of it would you like? I'm just asking you, what version of the truth would you like? I'll give you universal truth or I'll give you the truth, and we can make a combination of the two. That's what all of the negative feelings that you experience are all indicators that you don't trust him like that you don't know him like that. Because if you truly knew him, you would not have depression in your life. If you truly know him, you would not have fear in your life. If you truly know him, there would be no anxiety. All of these things are coming because you don't know him, not because you do. And before I can claim to know him, I got to know me. How can you know more about something outside of you than you know what's happening internally? I got to know me first. That's step number one. So all these people talking about, yeah, I know God, but you don't know yourself. Just help me understand that. Oh, I know Jesus, but you don't know yourself. You mean to tell me you know more about somebody else outside of you than you know about yourself? That's what you're telling me with a straight face. You know all of these things, but you don't know who you are. You still asleep. What's the name of the entity in you that was so intelligent that it collected all of this information about Jesus, but failed to collect the same information about yourself? Just help me understand that. I'm just asking. What's the name of the entity in you that was so brilliant that it went and mastered all this information about Jesus, but failed to know itself?
I don't know. Make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. Just make it make sense. Do me a favor real quick. That's why God is trying to let you know yourself. That's the beginning of all wisdom. Know yourself, beloved. That's the beginning of all wisdom. You got to know you first. And when you meet yourself that deeply, you'll meet him. But if you haven't met yourself that deeply, you only have a concept of him. You only have an idea of him. You only have what someone has told you about him. You only have something you read in some book. No, you got to meet you first. You got to unlock the spirit in you. That's what awakening is about. Awakening is about you dissolving the ego. It's about you dissolving your masks. It's about you dissolving your persona. It's about you dissolving this reputation that you don't need. You either gonna show up and be the most powerful, badass person that you walking on the face of this earth, or you not. I don't need a reputation. I don't need titles on me. I don't need anything. What I am can't be described with words. What you are in this moment, there isn't a word that has ever been created that can define what you are. Not one. I don't give a damn how many scientists you talk to. I don't care how many musicians you talk to. I don't give a damn how many mechanics you talk to, physicists you talk to, therapists you talk to. Nobody can tell you what you are. People can only tell you what they think you are. Only God can tell you what you are. And in order to discover what you are, you have to first let go of what you are not. That's the first step to knowing what you are, is to know what you are not. What I'm not is the person that shows up with and tolerates disrespect. What I am not is the person that will let you verbally abuse me. What I am not is the person that's going to show up to the moment and not be my most authentic self. What I am not is the person that's going to let you show up small for you. What I am not is the person that's going to accept less than I deserve. That's what I'm not. I'm sitting here on a mission. My Father sent me here specifically on a mission to impart love, wisdom, and knowledge on every single person I see, no matter where they're from. Doesn't matter what their socioeconomic status may be. Doesn't matter what's going on with their situation. That's not none of my business. My business is to be a reflection of him. Period, point blank. It is exactly what he created you for. Let's get real for a minute. That's what he created you for. To be a reflection, to be an extension of him. Here on this earth, period, point blank. Get out of all that group thing. That's what he created you for. He didn't create you to show up small. He didn't create you to tolerate disrespect. He didn't create you to show up on the scene wearing some mask. He didn't create you to accept less than you deserve. He didn't create you to let somebody sit here and verbally abuse you or physically abuse you. That's not what he created you. To be a reflection of strength. To show up and be a reflection of power. To show up and be a reflection of unconditional love. That's what you were created to be. You show up being anything less than that, if you're out of alignment with what he created you to be. Now we got all the negative emotions. Now we got all the negative feelings. Now we got the depression going on. Now we've got the anxiety going on. That's why it's happening. Because you're being something that you're not. You're accepting something that you're not. You're tolerating something that you're not. Man, you got to let that go. Baddest thing walking is you. I'm telling you now. That's why he sent you by yourself. Wasn't about no entourage. Wasn't about a group. Wasn't about you having all these people around you. That's why he sent you by yourself, because he knew you would be fine. Because he ain't left your side. See, that's what it's all about. The game is not about you discovering God. The game is you understanding if you never left him in the first place. That's the first thing you need to understand. You're not trying to find him. Your job is to remember that you never left him. And that's what self-awareness is doing in your life. That's the whole point of self-awareness. How do you find what you've never lost? You are inseparably connected to him, the same way that you are inseparably connected to the air you breathe. Inseparably connected, inseparably connected. I appreciate that, beloved. How many of you guys are in a relationship right now where your partner has you kind of confused? Right? You don't have to go into details if you don't want to, but how many of you guys, just type me if you're in a relationship right now where you guys, you kind of confused, right, with respect to where it's all going, what's going on, you know. Got it. He said, definitely me. No longer confused me. Got it. Situationship. Okay. I'm getting ready to say something to you with all the love that I have in me. With every fiber of it. I mean, every fiber of love that I have in me, I'm going to say what I'm getting ready to say from that space. What if I were to tell you that it's humanly impossible for you to be confused? What if I were to tell you that, right? What if I were to tell you that it's, see, when you don't know when you don't really know who you are, I understand. When you say you're confused, I understand what you mean. I understand what you're trying to say. But what if I were to tell you that it's humanly impossible? I'm gonna qualify it for you. I'm not just gonna tell you. I'm gonna qualify it for you. Do me a favor, you guys. Share the live to your stories real quick. If you haven't already done so, share the live to your stories real quick. If you haven't already done so. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev. I know family when I hear family talking. Come on, Kev. Do me a favor again, real quick. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. So you're not confused in the relationship. You're in a very clear one that you keep reinterpreting. You are never confused in a relationship. You're in a very clear one that you keep reinterpreting. That's what's hurting you. Oh, you got clarity, but you are reinterpreting that person's behavior, their actions, what they say, because you want it to be in alignment with what you want from the situation. So there's no confusion at all. So one more time, you're not confused in a relationship. You're in a very clear one that you keep trying to reinterpret. If you have already explained how their behavior affects you and nothing has changed, then the issue is not misunderstanding. That's not the issue. And the problem won't be solved by you talking more, because you already told them once how you felt. So the problem won't be solved by you talking more, because they heard you the first time. They heard you. So ain't no confusion. No, they heard you. The real problem is what you are tolerating and what they refuse to change. There's the problem right there. Right there. Let's just frame it. The problem is what you're tolerating, and the problem is what they refuse to change. And let me tell you why they refuse to change. Because the thing that you want them to change represents more value to them than you do. I need to say that again. I said the thing that you want them to change, whatever that thing is that you want them to stop doing, represents more value to them than you do. If you represented more value than the thing, it would be automatic. Anytime that someone doesn't change a particular behavior, it's because the thing that they're doing represents more value, represents more pleasure, represents more fill in the blank than you. So when you asked them the first time to change that thing, they heard you. So we're not talking about a misunderstanding here. We're not talking about you never listened to me. No, you don't want to see the truth. That's the problem.
Again, when a person doesn't change their behavior in a relationship, it's because their behavior carries more value to them than you do. That's it. That behavior that you want them to change carries more value than you carry. If you carried more value than the thing, they would change it like that. That's how people work. You got to master your understanding of people. People don't continue patterns that cost them something. They continue patterns that cost you something. Don't ever lose sight of that. I said people don't continue patterns that cost them something. They continue patterns that cost you something. For example, the self-respect, you being confused, it's costing you something. It's not costing them anything. And here's what you need to understand. This has nothing to do with your partner. See, that's the problem. We focus on the wrong thing. This has nothing to do with your partner. You're making it all about your partner. You're making it about the wrong one. This is about you, beloved. It's not about your partner. Take them out of it, please. It has nothing to do with them. It has as much to do with them as a mountain. There's nothing to do with them. This says everything about you. But see, when you lack self-awareness, you'll make it all about them. That's why you won't grow. That's why you don't transform. That's why you'll keep hopping from relationship to relationship, meeting the same person, just wearing a different face. So again, this isn't about your partner. This is about the version of you that learned to stay composed while simultaneously disappearing. That's what this is about. This is about the version of you that learned to stay composed while simultaneously disappearing. That's the problem. That version of yourself has to go immediately. You don't need more signs. You need the courage to trust the ones that you've already seen. Do you need more signs for? You don't need permission. You need to trust your gut the same way you trusted all of the lies that they told you in the beginning. That's where we can become powerful. I said you don't need permission. You need to trust your gut the same way you trusted all of those lies that they told you in the beginning, with the same energy, with the same intensity. And you need to stop outsourcing decisions that you are fully capable of making yourself, because that's what hurts us. See, what will happen is that you don't need more information. You need to stop outsourcing your decisions that you are fully capable of making yourself, because that's what hurts your self-concept, your self-confidence, and that's what hurts your self-concept. The moment you step outside of yourself, just go ask some person that's not a part of your relationship, what should I do? What do you think? Should I leave? What you're signaling to your brain is that I don't trust me. And let me tell you what's happening. Your vibrational frequency is being lowered. Your confidence is being shattered. You won't have any more courage. You're moving through the life. You're going to stay in situations that you shouldn't past the expiration date. Why? Because you don't trust yourself. Why do you need to talk to this person? And here's the thing. You don't ever ask a person about a decision that they don't have to deal with the ramifications of that decision. You don't ever do that in your life. Don't ever talk to a person about a decision that you need to make with respect to your life, and they don't have to deal with the results of that decision. That person doesn't have to stay there. You in the relationship. What you talking to them for? That's the worst thing you can ever do. Everybody gonna give you their opinion, but they don't have to live with that. You do. That part right there, Charles. That's the biggest mistake we make. A, you lowering your vibrational frequency. B, you're teaching your brain not to trust itself, right? You're shattering your self-confidence. Every time you step outside of yourself to ask someone else their opinion about something that's going to impact your life significantly, you are shattering your own self-confidence. That's the number one way to shatter your self-confidence, is to step outside of yourself, to ask someone their opinion about something that only impacts your life. You don't ever do that. That's the biggest mistake you can ever make. I'm talking about a category 5 mistake. Like, that's the biggest mistake you will ever make. Here's what you got to understand. God will expose every person in your life who is not for you. Don't ever get that confused. God will expose every person in your life who is not for you. You won't have to dig. You won't have to accuse. You won't have to chase clarity. The proof is going to fall in your lap effortlessly. And that's the problem. Some of you guys have already received the proof. You've already received the clarity. So there is no confusion in the relationship. There's a truth that you don't want to accept. That's the problem. Not the relationship, not the person, the truth that you don't want to accept. And see, one thing you got to understand about God is that he won't let them break you, but he will let them expose themselves. Person never broke you. You broke yourself when you keep giving this person chance after chance. You broke yourself when you allowed that person to show you twice what they had already shown you once. You broke yourself when you sat back and let this person, tell you, I'm gonna be this for you, and I'm gonna be the future faking. We talk about future faking all the time. So this person, I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna make these promises to you, and I'm gonna do this different, and I'm gonna move different in the future, never realizing and understanding that that's what future faking is. That person is just buying more time with you. So again, God didn't let them break you, he let them expose themselves. But when you put up with things that are out of alignment with who you really are, you break yourself. The moment you put up with things that are out of alignment with your truth, you break yourself. Person didn't break you, they don't have the power to break you. No person has the power to break you. I haven't met that person, not mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. No person on the planet. Your job is to stop giving people access to you that God has already exposed. That's the real problem. That's the biggest problem. Stop giving people access to you that God has already exposed. We sit there and pray to him to put out certain fires in our lives, and then we turn around and we reignite the fire. The very fire you praying for him to put out, you keep entertaining. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories real quick, please. Yeah, that's the only thing that hurts us is you giving people access to you that he's already exposed. That was the whole point. Here's the problem. You can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one. The biggest prison in the world is the one you don't know you're in. We imprison ourselves when we tolerate disrespect. We imprison ourselves when we don't speak our truth. We imprison ourselves when we show up small in the relationship, but then we blame the other person. Turn right around and blame the other person. The real prison is what you tolerate. The real prison is you not knowing your value. You can't continue to blame someone else for what you are willing to accept. Can't do it. You can't blame them for what you've normalized. And I just got a question for you. How is it the other person's fault when you don't know your value? Just help me understand that. Again, I'm not asking you to change your life. How is it the other person's fault because you didn't know your value? You didn't know your worth, but they're the problem. Just help me understand. Because we're so good at that, leaving out the part of the story where we screwed up. Leaving out the part of the story where we accepted the bad behavior. Leaving out the part of the story where we stayed in the toxic relationship for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the case may be. We fail to leave out that part of the story. So just help me understand that. How is it that person's fault? Because you accepted the verbal abuse. How is it the other person's fault? Because you accepted less than you should. How is it the other person's fault? Because you walked on eggshells so that you didn't lose the person. How is it their fault? I'm just asking. I'm not asking you to change your life. I'm just asking you, why are we blaming them? Because of what we accept and tolerate. Because that's what people are doing. That's the first thing they're going to do. When you get on the phone, you start talking to somebody about the relationship. All the thing they're going to tell you about what the other person didn't do. See, let me give it to you a way I know you can't miss it. Let me give it to you in a way I know you can't miss it. If I go purchase a Honda Accord, that car has a very specific function. It's not going to take me off-roading. I can't drive it all up in the mountains. I can't drive. It's not some underwater vehicle. The car is going to take me from point A to point B on the road. And so when I look at people, you know, we jump into these relationships, it's like that. You're expecting things from someone that can't give you more than what they're giving themselves. I can't be mad at the Honda Accord because it can't take me off-roading. I can't be mad at the Honda Accord because it can't take me all. That's not its function. That's not what it does. People are just like cars. Every single person that you add to your life has a unique function, a unique purpose. And if that person's purpose and function is out of alignment with what you need from them, then you need to remove yourself from the person. But it's not the person's fault. It's not the Honda Accord's fault because it can't take me all up in the mountains off-roading. That's my fault for not knowing the limitations of this particular vehicle. And the same thing applies when you come bringing people into your life. People are showing you what they are when we pretended not to see. The person's showing you what they are day in and day out. It took you 6 years to realize that. Took you 2 years to realize that? The person been showing you every day. Where were you? They showing you who they are every single day. Where were you? Because you had to sign up for that day in and day out. So don't blame them because you won't change, beloved, if you blame them. No, we need to remove the version of yourself that saw the red flags but ignored it. We need to remove the version of yourself that showed up small. We need to remove the version of yourself that convinced you to walk on eggshells. That's what we need to do. And then when we remove those versions of yourself, we never encounter another toxic relationship ever again. But if we only point the finger at the person, then that doesn't do anything for you. You're still the same. You're still the same person. And you're going to attract someone else into your life that's going to reflect all of those unhealed versions of yourself. So it doesn't matter how many relationships you jump in and out of. You're going to meet the same person wearing a different face. Because every single person will be wearing the face of your wounds. That part right there, Cash. That part right there. Your life doesn't change because you want something different. Your life changes when you become someone different. That's when everything changes. So it doesn't matter how much you hope and how much you want. That's not what's going to change your life. Your life doesn't change just because you want a different life. Your life changes when you become someone different. See, your life is going to change the moment that you leave the old version of you behind. That's when everything's going to change. Because what you have to understand is that every single person on this app right now is operating out of their potential. What does that mean? That means that you are the best of everything you are ever going to be in this moment. Doesn't mean you can't be something better 5 minutes from now, but we're not in the 5 minutes from now. We're in the moment. So everything that you have been leading up to this moment, you are the tallest you're going to ever be. You are the smartest you are ever going to be. You are the strongest you are ever going to be. Everything that you are in this moment. But so is your partner. So your question that you have to ask yourself is what they are, the things that they are in this moment, is that enough for me? Is the brand of love that they give, is that enough for me? The way that they show up for me, is that enough for me? How they love on me, is that enough for me? Because if it's not enough for you and you keep showing up to it, you can't blame the person. One more time. Everything that you will ever be in life, you are in this moment. That does not mean you can't be something 5 minutes from now, but we're not there yet. So let's live in reality. Look at your partner through that filter. You can't blame them for something that they can't even be for themselves. And that's what we do. We punish people for things that they can't even give themselves. You want this person to give you 5-star love, they can't even give it to themselves. You change, I appreciate that, beloved. You are operating at full capacity right now, but so is your partner. Right now in this moment, you operate at full capacity. Every person on this app right now is operating at full capacity. Full emotional capacity, full spiritual capacity, right? Full intellectual capacity, right? So you're operating at full capacity, but so is your partner. Look at them through that filter. Are they what you need them to be, or they're not? It's a simple yes or no. See, what hurts us is that when we want the person to transform into what we want them to be, because once they transform into what you want them to be, they're no longer being their authentic selves. They're being something that you want them to be. That's what I'm saying. You got to appreciate the person for exactly what they are in this moment. You can't want them to transform so that you can be happy, want them to transform so that you can experience love. If they're not what you want them to be, then it's time to walk away from that situation. Think about what I'm saying. The moment I change into what you want me to be, I'm no longer what I want to be. This is what I'm saying. The moment that I transform myself into what you want to be so that you can be happy, I'm no longer what I need to be for me. No longer. In that moment, I'm changed. So you happy, but I'm miserable now. Yeah, there's no more authenticity. You know what I mean? Because now I gotta transform into some character so that you can be happy, versus you just aligning yourself with the person that you really want for your life. That person is out there. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hang on. See, we oftentimes will settle for good because we're too impatient to wait for better. Don't let that go over your head. That's the mistake we make. We oftentimes will settle for good because we're too impatient to wait for better. Better was coming, but you jumped on the grenade of good. Here's what you got to understand. Most people don't stay stuck because they're incapable. They stay stuck because they stay stuck because leaving would require them to grieve who they used to be. And that's why most people stay stuck. And what we don't understand is that your new life is going to start the moment you stop entertaining the old one. Instantly in that moment. That part right there. I'm telling you, again, people don't stay stuck because they're incapable. It has nothing to do with that. People stay stuck because leaving would require grieving who they used to be. Most people aren't ready to let go of who they used to be. And that's why we stay stuck. And what we have to understand is that the world doesn't hide the truth. It only reflects it back to you. Every single person in your life right now is reflecting some truth back to you. And when you really get locked into self-awareness, you're going to fully understand that. Let me dive into this real quick. I want to dive into something real quick before I get out of here. Type me in the comments real quick if you've ever been in love with someone. Type me real quick if you've been in love with someone. If you've been in love with someone, or if you're in love with someone right now, type me real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Love it, 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 love it. And I'm talking about from a romantic perspective. I'm not talking about like kids or anything like that. Just talking romance. I'm just talking romance right now. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live, share your stories if you haven't already done so. Australia's in the building. What's up, Australia? Do me a favor, share the live, share your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. What's up, Canada? Canada's in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Boom. Perfect, 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 perfect. I see you, Kev. How'd you do that? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? You said you fell in love with someone. How'd you do that? How'd you do it? I'm just curious. How'd you do it? I don't mean how'd you do it, like how'd you do it? I mean, how'd you do it, like how'd you do that? What I'm getting ready to share with you is going to bump up against your programming and conditioning, so you may want to brace yourself. If you are love, how did love manage to fall in love with love? So when I say how'd you do it, that's really what I'm asking. If you are love, and you are, if you come from love, and you do, how did love manage to fall in love with itself? How did love manage to fall in love with what you've been programmed to believe was someone else? I'm just asking, how'd you do it, beloved? How'd you do that? That's like rain complaining that it's getting wet. Like that doesn't make sense, right? When we say we are in love, we are rarely in love with another human being. We are in love with our own reflection. We are in love with the stories we tell ourselves about how they make us feel. That part's important. We are in love with the stories we tell ourselves about how they make us feel. And let me tell you why that's so important. But let me tell you why that's so important. Let me tell you why that's so important. Because every emotion that you experience, be it positive or negative, you only experience because of the stories you tell yourself. That's really important. That's super important for you to understand. Every emotion that you experience, you can only experience it by telling yourself a story first. No story, no emotion. That could be depression, that could be love, that could be anxiety, that could be fill in the blank. Every feeling or emotion you experience, you can only experience by telling yourself a story first. And again, that part's important because I can't get to the next place until I get you there, until we understand that part. So again, when we say we are in love, we are rarely in love with another human being. We are in love with our own reflection. We are in love with the stories we tell ourselves about how they make us feel. We are in love with the version of ourselves that we get to become in their presence. We are in love with how they distract us from our pain that we have suppressed over time. We oftentimes fall in love with the way we see them. I said we oftentimes fall in love with the way we see them, not as they are, but how you see them. Because what you have to understand, beloved, is that your vision is predicated on your wounds. Your vision is predicated on your pain. Your vision is predicated on all of your experiences that you've had leading up to this moment. Your vision is predicated on your level of emotional intelligence. Your vision is predicated on your level of self-awareness. All of that combined is how you see the world. And that part's important. So we fall in love with the way we see them, not as they are, but the way we see them. So important. So we oftentimes fall in love with the way we see them, not the essence of them. Let me qualify that. Let me qualify that in case you're struggling. 9 out of 10 people on this app, you haven't met yourself that deeply. So to say you are in love with someone, I've got to first discover who I am at my essence. Because how can I appreciate who you are at your essence if I haven't discovered myself that deeply? If I haven't met me, and I've been with me my whole life, if I haven't met me at the deepest depths of who I am, how can I understand and appreciate you? And if I'm not loving you at your essence, then what am I loving? I love how I benefit from you. I love how I need you. I love how you allow me to escape my pain. I love how you are a beautiful distraction for me. I love the character that I get to become in your presence. I love what I'm able to run away from. That's what I love. And all of that gets projected onto this person. The person is like a blank canvas. They live in your mind, and you project that onto the person. The same way when you go to a movie theater. The characters are not on the screen. The characters are being projected onto the screen. And that's exactly, your mind is the projector. The person is like the screen, and we project what we want. We project our pain. We project our wounds. We project our needs. We project the version of ourselves that we get to be. We project all of that onto them. So if you fell in love with them, watch this right here. Watch this right here. If you fell in love with them, Why'd you fall out of love? I'll tell you why. Because your illusion got shattered. Because you finally stepped into reality. Because the story that you had created in your mind no longer matched who they were in real time. Because your beliefs about that person had changed. Because your attitudes about that person had changed. Because you were no longer living out of the fantasy. You were now living out of reality. That's why you fell out of love, but that's also the same reason why you fell in it. You were never in love with them. You were in love with the version of them that existed in your mind. The same reasons that cause you to fall in love are the same reasons that cause you to fall out of love. And what I need you to understand is that all of it was happening in your mind. None of it was happening in reality. It was all happening in your mind. You had certain thoughts about them. You had certain beliefs about them. You told yourself stories about them. You created the character around them and created the character that with that person. This is all happening in your mind. It had nothing to do with the person. And when we lack, when we lack the self-awareness, we don't understand that. And that's why you give people so much power in your life, because you don't understand that the love you were experiencing was your own. We don't get to experience other people's love. We get to experience our own. You tell yourself a story about that person, you unlock love in you. You attach meaning to that person, you unlock love in you. You start to believe in that person, that unlocks love in you. Everything gets unlocked in you. Our feelings are not outbound. Our feelings are inbound only. Our emotions are inbound only. You don't experience outbound feelings and outbound emotions, and neither does that person. You have never experienced anyone else's anything. You only experience more of you through them. That's what makes them beautiful. And here's what you need to understand. That person, whoever they may be, helps you to unlock a level of love in you that no other person can, because they have unique programming and conditioning. They have unique wounds. Their psychological wounds are identical match to yours. They have unique suffering. They have unique experiences. So that person, when they show up in your life, no other person can unlock the branch of love that person unlocks. And that's what's important to understand. Whatever they unlocked in you, no other person could have did that. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the limit. But what that means is that once that person leaves your life and you add someone else to your life, that person can take you somewhere mentally, spiritually, and emotionally that no one else ever can. But you're not experiencing anything that's coming directly from them. You're just unlocking what's already inside of you. And that's what's important to understand. The moment you understand that, you stop clinging to people, you stop being attached, because you understand I'm only experiencing more of me through you. That's why we fear losing people, because you think that whatever it is, the person only has the power that you give them. You're assigning power. Everything's coming from you. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. We don't experience anything else. You are love itself. Why would love fall in love with love? That doesn't even make sense. It's like I tell you guys that self-love is not something that you need to chase. You need to become love, not chase self-love. People who came up with that concept of self-love didn't know what love is. Because once you become love, I don't need to give it to myself. Think about what I'm saying. Self-love is an illusion of your thinking. You're creating duality when you say self-love. Anytime that you say self-love, anytime that you hear someone saying self-love, they don't know what love is. That's the reason why they're saying it. When you become love, I don't need to give it to myself. I don't need to give myself what I already am. That doesn't make sense. Make sense? You got all these teachers and gurus. Everybody's talking about self-love, 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 self-love. No, just become it first. Just become it. Just become it. And when you become it, you don't need to give it to yourself because you are already the thing that you would be giving yourself. You are already the thing. You're already the thing. So what would you be giving yourself? All right. I'll set my mic down right there. You got to practice self-love. No, don't do that. That's duality. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's one of the biggest mistakes you'll make. Don't do it. Just become love. Just become what you are. And in order to, become what you are, you have to dissolve what you're not. The ego, your programming and conditioning, getting on the other side of your pain, healing yourself from all of the versions of you that you've been leading up to this moment, becoming self-aware, becoming emotionally intelligent, understanding consciousness, understanding that you are the divine in human form, understanding that you are source energy. That's what's important. All right, real quick, type me in the comments real quick, you guys. If you if this is your first time on a live with me, type me in the comments real quick. Somebody said something about being selfish. Okay. So real quick, that part right there, yeah, you are the prize. Like, it's important for you to understand that. Your first time, awesome. Welcome all first time and last time viewers. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, relationship mastery, consciousness. I specialize in helping my students and my clients all over the world to become the most powerful versions of themselves. I'm also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness: How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? That book it's a bestseller. It's a game changer. It's a difference maker, right? It really is. Like, the book is a difference maker. I need to talk more about it, but oftentimes I don't. The book has kind of taken on a life of its own. I've been coaching for 2 decades now. I've coached some of the top celebrities, top athletes, politicians, doctors, lawyers, you name it. I've coached them, UFC fighters, you name it. And, I think what's mind blowing to me is that people don't understand that you're the problem and the solution. For as simple as that sounds, and maybe it just sounds simple to me because I've been doing it for so long, but people don't understand that, right? That you are literally the problem and the solution. You are question and answer all at the same time. You are a masterpiece and a work in progress all at the same time. You are student and teacher all at the same time. And that's really what self-awareness is all about, is helping you to fully understand that, we think ourselves into doubt. We think ourselves into fear. We think ourselves into depression. We think ourselves into anxiety. We think ourselves into all of these limiting beliefs, are the byproduct of your thinking. And it's really important for you to understand that. And so my thing is, to help you to become fully unlocked, to help you to become fully unleashed, to help you to discover your purpose and your passion, and to help you to enter your zone of genius. What's your zone of genius? Your zone of genius is when your purpose and your passion unite, right? So you have your zone of competence, which means that you pretty much do whatever it is you do just as good as everybody else. And then you have your zone of excellence. And that means that you do what you do just a little bit better than everyone else. And then you have your zone of genius. And your zone of genius is just, again, when your purpose and your passion has united, and you are operating at from your highest and best self. You're no longer operating out of lower minds. Lower mind is your programming and conditioning, your persona, the masks that we wear, our wounds, our pain, our suffering. All of that's lower mind. All of your problems are being created when you're operating from a state of lower mind. Higher mind is when you've stepped into consciousness. Higher mind is when you understand you are source energy.
Higher mind is when you understand you are love. Higher mind is when you understand that we are all a part of an interconnected, interdependent society where everything is leaning on the next thing. Higher mind is when you understand that every single person is just a unique expression of consciousness, a unique expression of the divine, just like the waves in the ocean. Every single wave is a unique expression of that ocean, but all of the waves are connected to the same ocean, period. That's what it's all about. And so when you get to that place of operating from higher mind, there's no more depression, no more suffering, no more pain. You've healed yourself from your story. You've become the most powerful version of yourself. No more anxiety, no more imposter syndrome, no more showing up small, no more tolerating the disrespect from other people, no walking on eggshells in your relationship, no tolerating or settling for things that you shouldn't. That's really what it's all about. And so that's what I coach. That's what I teach. I teach strength. I teach power. It's just helping you really to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful version of yourself. And that's what I bring to your life. And that's what I bring to the table. Every single person in your life should be bringing something of significant value to your table. And when I say value, I'm not talking necessarily about money, value meaning that the person is making just as many deposits in you as they are withdrawals, because that's what creates the synergistic relationship. So having said all of that, if you are struggling with depression, if you are struggling with anxiety, if you are struggling with, fear, limiting beliefs, some addiction issue, you're going through a bad breakup or, divorce, you're still suffering from something that maybe happened with your childhood trauma, anger is another good one. If you are, if you're still being impacted again by things that have happened in your childhood, and that maybe has caused you to have a lack of confidence, or you're just not showing up as the strongest and most powerful version of yourself, the community that I've created is exactly what you need. The community is called Mindset Masters, and Mindset Masters is really just a reflection of what you're seeing now. It's the Mindset Masters community comes with 2 life coaches, 1 executive coach, and you're going to gain access to all of my live streams like you're watching right now. And you're talking maybe 100 live streams inside of the community, because each one of these live streams is really just like a master class, right? Which is going to give you the ability to pause, rewind, take notes, take a break, walk away and come back. And because what I really want you to do is, as you're watching each of the live streams, you're going to have a journal. And then I want you to just take notes from the live streams of everything that hits you. And then what you're going to find is that you're going to have all of these notebooks from all of the live streams, right? Which that's going to become another study guide in and of itself. Then you're going to have access to all of my podcasts inside of the community. You're talking a crazy number of podcasts. You won't even be able to get through them all. There's so many podcasts inside of the community, which is my personal favorite. But you're going to have access to me, which is the most important thing, because I'm the author of the book. Again, The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? And so when you sign up in the community today, you're going to receive this book. You're going to get a free copy of this book, but I'm also going to send you a free copy of my e-course, which is called The Fearless Mindset. And the combination of my book and the Fearless Mindset is going to unlock something in you that's going to blow your mind. Because I have a formula that I want you to practice when it comes to this book. And if you apply the formula, it's going to unlock just something in you that you currently don't have access to right now. And so that's what the community is all about. I also write every single day inside of the community. I write out a thought of the day. And then we have shadowboxing classes inside of the community. What's shadowboxing? Shadowboxing is powerful because what shadowboxing does is it allows you to get into a group. It allows you to get with a group of people inside the community that are on a similar level to you, because everyone's learning all of this high power, next level information. But what's going to make you powerful is having the opportunity to shadowbox with other people, because you're going to gain access to a unique perspective that you currently don't have access to right now.
And that's what the shadowboxing group is about. It's about a group of individuals coming together to study the information together. So that way you can, because someone else's perspective may be a little bit more powerful than yours. And then now I can borrow that perspective and apply that to my life. And now I level up just that much faster. I became this version of myself through shadowboxing, right? Shadowboxing with my mentors, shadowboxing with other coaches. And that's how I became this version of myself. So shadowboxing is critically important to your growth and your success, but you're doing it with people that are on a similar level to the level where you are right now. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to walk into this group and, be with all of these people that are so much more powerful than me. No, they're starting out just like you, a lot of them. Now we have people that are way up on the mountain with respect to shadowboxing. And then we have people that are in a similar lane to you. So both are important. And lastly, like I said, again, I have a voice messages feature inside of the community. So whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're going through, whatever your pain points are, you can send me a voice message and then boom, I'm gonna get right back to you. So you've got your virtual coach right on hand. So not only do you have access to a shadowboxing group, not only do you have access to the world's most powerful information, not only are you going to receive the book, not only are you going to receive my e-course and all of the live streams and the podcasts and everything like that, not to mention the community is amazing, fastest growing community on social media to date, but you're going to gain access to me. So there's no way that you don't get it because I represent that backstop for you. Anytime you hit a wall, it's like, man, I need to talk to coach. You just send me a message real quick and then boom, I respond immediately. So aside from that, that's pretty much it. So if you are truly ready to take your life to the next level, and let me say this before I say that, if you aren't truly ready to put in the work and take your life to the next level, I would encourage you to wait. All right, I would encourage you to wait until you have either hit rock bottom enough or until until you're really ready mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because I like people in the community that are motivated, people that are ready to take their life to the next level versus people that show up lukewarm, because lukewarm doesn't change anything. So having said all of that, if you're truly ready to take your life to the next level, just type me in the comments real quick. Type me if you are truly ready to take your life to the next level. Okay, so the entire community is $1. That's it, $1 a day. It's $29 a month, no contracts, no obligations. $29 a month. We are cheaper than therapy and 10 times more powerful. So much so that we have therapists and psychiatrists inside of our community. So that should tell you everything that you need to know with respect to that. So again, $29 a month, no contracts, no obligations. When you guys get signed up today, you're going to receive a free copy of my book, as well as you're going to receive my e-course, The Fearless Mindset, which I absolutely love. If I had to pick between the two, I don't even know which one I picked because they're both so powerful. But can somebody pin the link? Let's get the link pinned real quick to the community. And what you guys can do, I got all this stuff going on. Yeah, you need both. You need the book. You need the book. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, beloved. You need the book. So copy and paste that link, you guys. Just copy, Kels. I appreciate that, beloved. Copy and paste that link. It's going to take you guys to get signed up, and then you'll be ready to go. Eric, you say your life is shit. No, it's not. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. If you were to shadowbox with me for a day, you would have a totally different perspective. I understand what you're saying, though. I do understand what you're saying. But it's not. I promise. Any community, again, copy and paste that link that Kels has there. Copy and paste that link, you guys. Put it inside of your browser. Put it inside of your browser, and it'll take you to get signed up. Once you guys get signed up, we're rocking and rolling. You guys will have your book today. It'll be sent to you today in ebook format. You guys are going to have it today. It'll be sent in ebook format. You're going to receive the book and the course today. I'm sorry. You'll receive the book and the course today, which is way more value than what it's costing you to get inside the community. Yeah, I understand what okay, Rika, I got you. I'll go. I'm actually getting ready to dive into the community right now. So as soon as I get into the community, I will, I'll check that out. Again, copy and paste that link, put it inside your browser, and then you guys are ready to go. Any community related questions? Can I answer any questions for you guys before we disconnect? Absolutely, Cash. Any questions? Can I answer any questions before we get out of here? Absolutely, Bella. Any community related questions before we go?